Welcome back, Vol Nation. The sun did come up this morning, but I don't know if it's shining quite as bright, Bob.
Yeah.
Upset Saturday, took down a lot of teams yesterday, unfortunately. Your Big Orange, my Big Orange, one of them.
Yeah.
Um, if there was a silver lining in all that, Vandy and Bama. I mean, I know every Vol fan was smiling up till game time, at least.
I know. Yeah.
Missouri getting humbled, um,
Right.
which that's not a surprise. I mean,
Right.
then we had some more throughout. Somehow, Miami pulled a rabbit out of the hat, and stayed undefeated. But Michigan dropped another game. Trojans dropped another. So yeah, there's a lot of shakeup going on in the poll yesterday. That's for certain.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm gonna say, if you want to try to look at the bright side, and I was a little bit concerned. I was super confident going in this game.
Oh God, as confident as I've been in any single game this year.
Going in yesterday, I started which just happens to me a lot. Started letting the doubt creep in, and I started thinking, man, like with the Bama loss, Missouri losing. There's so many of these teams getting upset, and
They seem to happen in bunches when it happens.
yeah, you discussed this before we shot. We have a lot of upsets so far this year, and especially considering the fact there's been very little possibilities of upsets because there's been so many few actually decently matched up games.
Yeah, it's been a poor year to start out with as far as even competition.
Mm-hmm.
People's been facing, seems like, a ton of FCS teams this year, or us included.
Right.
But we're far from the only ones that's been that case. The schedules have not been real good for the most weekends.
Right.
But yet somehow or another we're still having quite a few upsets.
Right.
Maybe parity is here. Maybe NIL and the transfer portal is affecting the depth on teams. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I don't feel like that's necessarily the case with us.
Right.
Our depth has gotten better.
Yeah, I agree. And on another bright spot of this, before we start digging into all the negatives, what we want is still there. I mean, all we gotta do is we can lose probably one more game and make the playoffs. We got to beat Bama or Georgia. Got to beat one of the two. You beat one of the two, don't lose any more. I feel confident in saying we're in.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. But, I mean, first and foremost, we got to fix ourselves, or we'll be looking at another L next week against the Gators. God knows they've given us a few that I would have never saw coming.
Yeah, that's the problem, Tim. Sometimes you have a game where you feel like the other team played better, ball bounced the wrong way, quarterback had an off day, just.
And some of that might have all happened yesterday.
Some of that happened, but I will say I had a little bit of concern before this game that I hadn't really talked much about. But leaving the game, I have some concerns going forward. I mean, start off with the fact that Arkansas played a lot of light box, basically a three-man front, two linebackers a lot of the game, creep another man in the box late sometimes. That's the problem. We've talked about on this podcast many times how that Georgia's put the formula out there to beat us, playing the light box. Teams are starting to go to that.
Yeah, well, the problem was with Georgia, they could do it because they had NFL guys and those five guys that they had in the box. Other teams are doing the same scheme, but it seems like they're confusing us because they're running another body or two into the box right before the snap.
Yeah.
And with a lot of success.
Well, we said, Tim, I think one of the keys to our future, and we seem to be addressing it, they're just not there yet, is we got to improve our offensive line. We've got to be able to have offensive linemen that can win push people around on one-on-one matchups so that we can let these guards get out to the second level. Um, you know, that was an issue, Tim. That bothered me. Um, I think Joe was playing for Nico yesterday. Um,
Well, that end of the last play of the game, you know, everybody gave Joe hell when he did it against Ole Miss. Nico did the same thing last night.
Nico had a horrible game. I mean, horrible game. Not just that. That was horrible. Horrible. Got to throw that. You know, zero chance. You run out of bounds, you lose. I mean, throw it in the air. I know there's a 5% chance of them coming down with it. That was better than zero.
Yep.
I think he probably fumbled about, couldn't catch the snap on the shotgun probably about 4 times. That's something that's inexcusable. I mean, I don't know what the heck's going on there, but those are almost always a negative play.
No, my guess is he was confused and still trying to figure out what was going on out there and looking.
Probably. I mean, that's probably
trying to figure out the what they were doing.
One
Because out of the ball.
We have been somewhat wrong about. We thought Nico had it together better mentally, but it seemed like he was.
He's not shown it this year. Last year he seemed to have a lot of situational awareness.
Yes, that's what I put it.
He knew when to take off. He knew when to pull up and throw. He knew when to run. He's made a lot more questionable decisions this year.
Yes, he has.
Than he did last year.
And you know, this game he was slow to process things. It seems like. Seems like our receivers is not getting open. I'm a little bit worried about a little bit of our scheme fit. You know, we got a lot of. It seems like if somebody's in a base defense, man, we can throw it deep all day long. I mean, we get explosive plays left and right. If it's 2nd and 15, we got nothing. If it's 3rd and 15, we got nothing. We're as likely to run the ball or we are to throw it.
Well, I'd say if you look at the stats right now on 2nd and plus 10, we're probably running the ball on well over 50% though.
Oh, I'd say so. If I had to guess, I would say upper 70s probably. I mean, it's way up there. And if you think that, it's the little sideline throw, which I could see that more that I could have run, honestly. But
well, we've had some success with the runs because we got a back like Sampson. He can break you 12 yards. So, I mean, it's better than, you know, some things, I guess, forcing it into a situation where you're going to get an interception. But we do need some more options. I personally would like to see Ethan Davis in there more. I believe he can get open against the linebacker better than our other tight ends.
And Mike Matthews.
Yeah. I mean, he's a freshman. But as we've seen with some other wide receivers that are freshmen this year, if you're good enough, you can make plays.
There's 2 wide receivers out there that's freshmen that was ranked similar to Matthews that's lighting it up. I think his name's Jeremiah Smith, I think, at Ohio State. And
some 17-year-old kid.
Some 17-year-old kid for Bama. Yeah, you know, we'll see, Tim. I don't want to, you know, jump the gun and say, hey, we got serious issues. But I think this is more than just a loss. But we'll see. I mean, we come out and put it on Florida.
I mean, everybody feel a little bit better.
Feel better. We go beat Bama.
You feel a lot better.
We're going to be a lot better. Yeah. So let's try not to jump off the Henley Strick Bridge today.
Yeah. Is there any other
come back up?
Yeah, that's true. Are there any other things that you noticed last night, Bob? I didn't get to watch the whole game actually. And I only got to see the second half. I had a 40-year reunion yesterday, and also in the middle of all that, my girl slid off my riding lawnmower and broke her leg mowing my yard yesterday, and of course, you know, so had all that involved too. And by the time we got her back home from the yard, Bob, it was dark, so I didn't make her finish the yard.
Oh, that's nice of you, Tim. You're a gentleman.
I'm a giver. What can I say?
Yeah.
But the sun's up and I don't hear that mower, so we having a talk here in a moment. But
Yeah.
so I didn't get to see everything, Bob. I did see the second half, although I was a little distracted during it.
Yeah.
With things going on.
And
Obviously.
stuff, Oh, well,
Yeah.
we'll go after the games. We'll go to the emergency room after the
Yeah,
game.
but it's open all night.
Right.
So, you know, I do know I saw, where UT did drive the beginning of the second half some. And honestly, although we were scoring, I can't really say it looks like it didn't inspire confidence that much. Still doing some stupid things. I mean, Bob, did you have any doubt when Jordan Ross running to the kicker, the punter? Did you have any doubt we was about to lose that game at that point?
Man, that felt like one of them moments that it was like, oh gosh,
You threw him a lifeline,
yeah, you do.
and this is going
momentum.
to be the one to bite you.
Yeah. And I will say defense overall played well enough to win the ball.
Well enough to win, I mean, but
I don't
better
think
than
we
19.
lights out or nothing like that, but we played well enough to win on the defensive side. It's just the offensive side. And something else I felt like, bring up something we mentioned in the preseason that I thought a concern for this team was a running back's pass protection. I felt like Sampson was not very good at it, and was hoping we'd have somebody that's better. Sampson's still not good at it. I've seen at least one time Bishop wasn't. He let a guy get through that he shouldn't have. That's an issue. We need to get. I don't know if Seldon's better at it or Lewis, but somebody's going to have to be able to.
You got to be consistent with that. I've heard several people connected to the program talk about how Dylan is very good in pass protection. And if you're not noticing it, then that probably means he is doing his job and he's getting it done.
Right.
But there's been multiple times, not just starting with the LSU, everybody remembers that.
Yeah.
And then we had more issues in the bowl game last week.
We had two in the bowl game.
And
it only takes one.
It only takes one.
Right.
Exactly. And then he's had some issues this year. Darrell Sims has got to do a better job of getting these guys to be more consistent in their pass pros.
Yeah, got to. Because teams they're bringing it, from different areas, and the run backs have to recognize that and block it. Anything else, Tim?
Well, yeah, I'd still like to mention one big important thing, Bob. Vanderbilt, they beat Bama, so
yeah, I mean that's you can say that.
I may actually mention that like every episode for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I didn't wear black in honor of Vanderbilt today,
right.
But I think I'm going to claim it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't blame me on that one.
But I think I will claim that I did in support of the Commodores beating the Tide.
Well, I guess, at the end of the day, Tim, we we're still probably a top 10 team, I'm guessing. I hadn't thought much about that till I started to say that. But, everything's still there.
Everything is still there, Bob. And let's not lose back to that. I mean, it's not over. This season's not over. It's far from over.
Yeah.
It's still his most talented team he's had right down there.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to have a bad game every year, most often on the road.
Right.
So is this that game?
I hope so. I hope this is the one where we look like trash, but I do think we got some stuff to work on, and hopefully we work on it, get it fixed. Hopefully it is fixable things. That's what I'm concerned at. I'm a little bit concerned that some of this stuff is stuff that's scheme issues, stuff that we may need to change, the stuff that you can't change from one week to another. But we'll see.
We'll see. And you never know exactly how much they can get tweaked.
Yeah.
But first they have to understand the problem and understand the fix as the coaches.
Yeah.
Before they can send it on down to the players.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But like I said, once again, Bob, one game ain't going to jump off the bridge quite yet. I'm still big Orange through and through. I know you guys are, even though you probably wanted to throw something through your TV at points last night.
Yeah.
But, go big Orange is what I say.
That's right. Go Vols.